Hello, I wanted to share a thought on raising children that are happier. Because we know as parents, our main goal, or at least my main goal, is not to raise a child who is happy, but a child who's well adjusted and content and joyful and grateful and longo list. Because I believe having that inside is what gives the child the ability to adjust and gives a child the ability to thrive. And that's kind of my goal. But with that, I understand that we want our children to be happy. So one thing that was never talked about, and I knew it, but I didn't know it until I read a book by Jordan Peterson called 12 Rules for Life. And one of the things he brought out was social skills and the importance of social skills in your child's well-being. So you just saw my cat, and my cat is very loudly eating. It seems like in every video my animals make an appearance. So anyways, woo, that sidetracked me. So I want to talk about social skills and what is social skills. And I want to kind of revert back to myself when I was a child. As an adult now, I see that I had, as a small child, poor social skills. What I mean by that, I think I was extremely eager, clingy. I didn't know my boundaries. I had a very hard time in the sharing of what a friendship is, that back and forth, that hearing and communicating. And I was also really insecure. And I'm saying this as a small child. I think I was just really gave off a very needy vibe. The reason I say this is because after working with children and around children for now over 15 years, I see that in other children and I recognize that in myself. So to have poor social skills as a child is exactly what I said. Doesn't really know how to interact with other children as far as, taking turns. It's also not being able to know social cues, like, no, stop, I don't like that. But then the person keeps doing it. The child keeps doing what the other child doesn't like. Also, kids are very in tune with other children and how needy they are. For example, Jordan Peterson brought out the point that if a child sees another child or senses another child in other children, that the children is very needy, they draw back from that child because the child senses that the needy child is just going to take too much effort. So how do we identify that in our kids? That neediness, that attention-seeking behavior, that selfishness, the meanness. I mean, how do we deal with that? The only way I know to deal with that is to be frank with our kids. What I mean by that, if your child is doing something that is annoying or irritating. And I'm not saying irritating because you're tired or you're making dinner. I mean, it's annoying. It is our obligation to correct our child. I would tell my children, that's annoying. That behavior, not you're annoying, that behavior is annoying. You need to stop that. Another thing my kids would do is they wouldn't stop when somebody said stop. So I would have to say, hey, what does stop mean? I mean, stop. Then why aren't you stopping? They're saying they don't like it. Stop doesn't mean continue doing what you're doing. They're saying stop. Stop means stop. And you need to stop. Now, I wish I could say I just did that once. No, this was several times that I had to correct all three of my children. Another thing I would notice is they would start like doing tics, and I would have to correct them with those tics because I knew if I let them continue, it would become a habit. So even before our children go into kindergarten, these behaviors have to be addressed and worked on and needed out. Because if not, they're going to be rejected by their peers. And that is what's going to hurt them. It's going to hurt their sense of well-being. It's going to hurt their ability to make friends. It's going to make them feel rejected, because just because you as their parent accept that behavior that society as a whole has deemed unwanted, doesn't mean everybody's going to have as much grace as you. So I know this is a difficult thing to address, but you're not being mean in confronting your child in a way that's loving, firm, but frank, in a good way, not in a bad way, because nobody's going to love your child the way you do. Nobody's looking out for them the way you are. And that correction, you want that correction from home. You do not want that correction from their peers, because students, especially boys, will just shun the other boy. I'm not saying about, I'm not directing this to parents who have children who are autistic or developmentally delayed. That's not even this conversation. But this is for parents who see those behaviors in their children, recognize those behaviors as not being socially acceptable, and then not addressing them. There are social rules. And I heard it said that when we conform to those social rules, that it's almost a giving up of our own selves. But in the end, we are going to benefit, and our children are going to benefit. So let me know what you think about this. If you work with kids, I mean, tell me what you have seen with the children and your own observations, and how you have helped the kids that you've worked with become a child that is more apt to make friends. All right. Thank you very much. God bless you.